Hello and welcome. Today I want to do part 2 of Dagmar's videos. I've already got her videos posted, but what I'm doing is breaking them down in a slower pace so that you can see what she's doing. Excuse me. Okay. Dagmar is a wonderful tatter. Do not get me wrong. I mean, the work she puts out is unbelievable. But she is in another country and she doesn't speak English very well, if at all. So I'm putting this down so that you can understand it. And I'm following her guidelines on her video verbatim. Okay, so everything she does on her video, I'm doing. Now, on with that, Barb and I are working on a needle tatted version of this so that you don't have to do with sewing needles. We're also looking at doing this using a shuttle instead of sewing needles so that you can continue on with your work. We're going to show you how to join and stuff so that you don't have to stop and say, well, I want this element in there, but I've got to do this with sewing needles, da-da-da-da-da. We're going to do it on a shuttle. And we're going to figure it out and see how to do it using a shuttle so that everything comes out the way it's supposed to. So we're working on that, so give us time. We'll get it all together and it'll look really, really nice when it's done. Because I think with the beads and the sequins, it adds a whole new dimension to your tatting. You know, if you're making Christmas ornaments for your tree, if we can get this worked out, you'll be able to make Christmas ornaments with this sequins and beads in your tatting to get the sparkle you want and then be able to continue tatting. Okay? So you're not putting all these elements together. You see what I'm saying? So we're going to show you the easy peasy way of doing it using a shuttle and a needle. Alright, for needle tatters. So, let's get on with it. This segment we're going to show you how to do a ring with the sequins and the beads. Alright? Now this can get a little more tedious. Alright? Because we're dealing with 2 needles and 2 strands of thread. We have a blue thread and a white thread. Alright? These threads do tend to get twisted together as you're tatting. They do tend to twist. Hence the reason Elizabeth thread is not the greatest thread on earth to use for this technique at this point. If you're learning, get your practice threads out and use them. Also, another footnote for you guys, try to get the same sized needles. Alright, I had these 2 in my box and they worked and that's what I grabbed. Alright, but try to get the same length needles. Alright, so let's get on with it. First and foremost, we're going to get us 2 strands of thread about 12-15 inches long. Tie a knot in the end. That's where we're going to put it in the pinch. Then we decide which color we want to use for the tatting that's going to show. Well, on this sample piece, we did it with the blue showing. This time I think we're going to use the white. Now what you want to do is separate your needles. Okay? Get your white and your blue separated. Get them out of the way. Being you're using the white thread, you want the white thread on top of that knot. Pull your blue thread down. Wrap your hand. Okay? Now at this point, you see we've shrunk the distance between the needle and the loom. You want the needle on your other thread to match that length. So what you're going to have to do is pull some thread back, okay, on that other color, because you're going to be tatting with both of these needles. So adjust as you need to get this thread here the same length on both needles. Okay? And it will take some doing to get it even. But once you do, it's set. Alright? Now, we've got them straight. Now, we're going to carry a double core thread. Okay? There's a reason for that. And what you're going to do, it's the same thing. Okay, we're going to go under, over, and through our loop to create the first half. Flip it and bring it down. Okay, going to come through the back, flip it, bring it down. We want to put 5 of these double stitches on here. You see how I'm holding them 2 needles together? That's what you want to do. Keep those 2 needles together. Okay? Just do that till you get 5 double stitches. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, oops, I went between on one of them. Nope, that's the tail. It's hung up. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 5th one. Now, as you can see, our ring is getting kind of small, so we want to separate our threads. Okay, lay our ring down so we can get that separated. And this is where it can get fiddly. Okay, take your time. Make sure you have plenty of patience when you use this. Okay, to keep those threads straight. Because you want them separate now. My tail is just going to drive me crazy. We'll just get that little thing out of the way. We don't need that much thread, but I'd rather have more than not enough for the demonstration. Okay, we're getting there, we're getting there. Okay. Once we get our thread straightened out, then we want to put our loom back on our hand. For inexperienced tatters, be careful, make sure your double stitches are facing the right direction. Okay, then here's what you're going to do. See our white thread? It's the core thread here. That's the one we're going to pull. See it on the back side? Pull it to open our ring up. Alright, now we've got our 5 double stitches on here. This is where the blue thread's going to come into play. That's what we're going to string our bead and our sequin on. So same deal as with the chain. Thread your sequin, pull it down till it's on top of that tatting. Okay, get it down into there, right where you want it to go. Lay it down, put your finger, your fingernail, whatever you have, and hold it there with all your might. Okay, now you're going to grab your bead. Put it on there. Slide it down. And like I said before, it doesn't matter where the bead lands on your thread, because what you're going to do is come back down through that sequin like that and thread that bead on there. And if it should pop out, stop. Okay? If it should pop out of the pinch like it just did on me, stop. Bring that sequin down. Got to make sure it's in the place you want it to go. Then close that bead in. If it twists, pull it, straighten it out. Once you get your bead in, lock that thread down, rotate that bead, just the bead, over to where it's sitting straight up, just like that. Okay? Slide everything into place, put it in the pinch, pull it tight, okay, and pick up your other needle. Right? Put the 2 of them together. Make sure your threads are like they should be. If one is longer than the other, pull it up tight. You want that thread even, okay, on those needles. You have to excuse me, my allergies are flying full bore. We've had a lot of rain, and that's one of the allergies that they found is mold is a big problem for me. And where I live at, mold grows fluently. Okay. So it's making me all congested up today. Okay, we've just about got them even here. There we go. We got our needles even. Our thread are even. Now we go back in. Everything's been in the pinch the whole time. We're going to go back in and put in our other 5 double stitches on the back side of that. Now remember, you got to come in behind that sequin and behind the bead. Do the second half of that double stitch. Down behind the bead and the sequin. First half. If your needles should get apart, try to get them back together. Come back up. That's 2, 3, 4, 5. The last half of that 5th double stitch. Now here we go again. We've got to separate these threads. So what we're going to do, because the white thread is the core thread, the main core thread, okay, separate our needles, lay that blue thread out of our way, grab our white thread. If the blue thread's still twisted on it, make sure it's separate. And here we go. We're going to close that ring with this white thread because this is the thread that is our main core thread throughout. See? There we go. Close it until the ring closes completely. Keep everything in the pinch. You'll feel it. If you've trained your pads, you'll feel it. And there you have it. It's sitting right on top of that ring. And if your bead should get laid over or whatever, you can straighten it up. It doesn't hurt to manipulate. Okay? Straighten it back up to where the bead's sitting straight up on its base. Okay? I'm going to cut these threads, get them out of our way, and show you what this is going to look like on the back side. You see? It looks like it has been sewed into that ring, when in reality you tatted it in. Okay? So that's the technique broken down so you can understand what she's doing. Remember, you've got 2 core threads you're carrying, but only one. And that's the one that your double stitches are going to come out on the ring. That's the one that opens the ring up and closes the ring. So you want to separate them, make sure they're not twisted when you do that. So I hope that explains Dagmar's technique a little further. And I do thank Dagmar for sharing this because I think this is really, really a neat idea. Okay? So try it. Like I said, the 2 needles can get tedious, but it's well worth the work. I mean, look how pretty that is. Isn't that gorgeous? Can you imagine a ring that's got rings and chains, and all the little rings have this on there, and then you mount it on one of those silk ornaments for your Christmas tree? Can you imagine the glitter and the shine it's going to have? Going to be beautiful. So, until the next video, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've learned something today, and do join us in the classes. You're going to learn so much more. So until next time, happy tatting. Have a great day, and thank you for watching.